Welcome to your basic Pilates mat workout. We are going to warm up today, reviewing some of our Pilates fundamentals, and then head into practicing our basic Pilates mat exercises. I'll be using a resistance band for a few of the exercises, so if you have a resistance band, fabulous, grab it. If you don't and you want to substitute something you have at home, my favorite substitute is a pair of leggings that you don't mind using to stretch a little bit and mimic what the band would do. All right, let's get started. We're going to lay back on our mats and just bend your legs and plant your feet and let your head fall back into the mat with your arms long beside you. We'll start by just practicing our Pilates breath. As you inhale, inhale through your nose and take kind of the biggest inhale you can get in. When you exhale, you're going to open your mouth and force your breath out, feeling like you cannot possibly exhale anymore, and then take your next inhale. Inhale, you want to feel your whole chest expand in all the directions, to the side, to the back, to the front. And then as you exhale, force out that breath until you can't possibly squeeze out any more breath. And then take one more breath like that. Long, big, purposeful inhale. And then an exhale where we force out that breath. And noticing how when we force that breath, automatically those core muscles are kicking in. And automatically we're pulling our stomach muscles up and in because that helps us kind of squeeze out that breath. Okay, so that core engagement is something we're going to want to keep working our entire workout today. Right, let's move on. Let's do a little bit of our arm circles, thinking about how do we keep our shoulders stable as we do some movements with our arms. So we're going to start by energizing our arms. We're going to take a nice big inhale. We're going to lift the arms up, kind of nice and slow on this first one, because I want you to really pay attention as you're lifting up. Can you lift the arm without letting your shoulder lift or hike up as you come up? And can you keep your core tight so that our back doesn't move around or change, right? And then you get to open the arms out to the sides of the room and circle and come all the way back around. And then we'll do that again, practicing that skill, inhaling as those arms lift up, and then a nice big exhale as you circle those arms to come back around. Let's take two more there. Remember, we're keeping our stomach muscles pulled up and in as those arms circle. We're reaching through our arms, but kind of having that feel that our shoulder blades are holding in place almost a little bit. Inhale, we lift up. And then that exhale as you open and circle and come all the way around. Now we're going to reverse that. We're going to have our palms up to the ceiling. We're going to inhale, reach the arms out to the sides of the room. As you exhale, you're going to press your arms along beside you, opening up the fronts of shoulders. Inhale as you reach out and around. Every time you exhale, see if you can get a little bit more of that feeling of pulling your belly down toward your spine or down toward that mat, just to activate those core muscles. Inhale, we'll reach the arms out and around. Exhale as you press them long beside you. Let's get one more in there. Inhaling as you circle. And then exhale as you reach the arms down. Now I want you to reach your arms down and leave them planted. So really press them in. Like, don't just let them be there, but really press them in a little bit. Make those muscles work to press them in. We're going to do a little bit of movement in our low back and our hips. So our pelvic mobility, as you inhale, you're going to tilt or tuck the pelvis. And then as you exhale, you're going to tip your pelvis away from you and create a little space in your low back. And we're just going to go back and forth 4 or 5 times, rocking the pelvis front to back and getting some of this movement and mobility in our low back. Hopefully it kind of feels good. You're kind of, for me, it feels like I'm pushing my sacrum, that like bony plate in the back of our hips, into the mat, almost massaging it as you go back and forth. All right, let's do one more. A little pelvic tuck, and then that arch. And then I want you to find what I'm going to call the middle zone. It's somewhere in between the tuck and the arch. And it's where you don't have to work a whole bunch just to be there. If you were just to like let your hips go and not think about it a whole bunch. Now we're gonna anchor our back and our hips into place as we do some things with our legs in that kind of neutral middle zone position. All right, we're gonna take those arms back to the mat. As you inhale, we'll do a little knee fold. We'll float one leg up to what I like to call tabletop position. So maybe you could set a drink and balance it there right on your shin. And then exhale as you bring the leg down. In this moment when you switch, just be really aware that you're trying to do it without letting those hips shift or wiggle. Inhale as the leg comes up. And then exhale as you're coming down. Keep pulling your stomach in and kind of gluing your low back down toward the mat. Inhale, the other leg comes up. And then exhale, we'll bring it back down to the mat. Inhale, that left leg's coming up. And then exhale to come back down. Next one, we're going to inhale, bring the leg up. Make sure those core muscles are tight. We're lifting both legs. The other leg comes up to match it. Should be some work just to stay here and keep pulling your stomach in to kind of glue your back down to the mat. And then we get to do fun things here. You're going to test out where can you lower that leg but not let your back arch or move. So you got to really pull in here. And then bring the leg back to the start position and then alternate. Inhale, that other leg's going to lower, but we're going to keep pulling our stomach muscles in. Exhale as you come back. You can keep pressing those arms in. Or if you like to have your hands on your stomach, sometimes I like that from feeling like I'm pulling away from my hands. It helps me. Try that out. Inhale, lower down. Exhale back. All right, super challenge. We're going to take both legs and squeeze them together. And now you're going to take both legs down. Start little with these. Notice how just like an inch or two reach away of our thighs makes our core muscles really have to work. And then pull those legs back. We don't need to do a big movement for this to be really effective. Inhale, the legs lower a little bit. Exhale to come back. How far you go is how far you can go and not arch in your back. Inhale to lower. Exhale to come back. We want that deep core work. Let's do one more. Inhale, a little lower way. Exhale as you bring them back. Go ahead and let yourself hug your legs in. Give them a little stretchy moment. And then we're going to just bring our feet down and plant them back on the mat. All right, we're going to practice our upper ab curl. So the upper ab curl is something we use a lot in Pilates, and it's going to be, I call it the initiation of our roll up, or anytime we're rolling through our spine. We're going to take a nice inhale. Let's reach our arms up to the ceiling. Nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, I want you to just barely pick your head up and then curl forward. You're kind of just looking between your legs. See if you can stay there. Take an inhale. And then exhale, roll yourself back down. And now in your next one, try it with those hands behind your head. When our hands are behind our head, you can kind of gently push your head backwards into your hands a little bit and lengthen your neck. See, play with that a little bit. See if you can keep that feel of kind of pushing your head back into your hands, even when we curl forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, curl up, but keep pushing your head back so you're not jamming your chin forward, right? It's those core muscles pulling us up. Stay there for an inhale. And then exhale, roll to come back down. Let's do two more. And if you have a favorite version, if you like the arms up, you could do arms up, or you could leave them behind your head. Take a big inhale. Let's exhale, nod our chin toward our chest, but keep pushing the head into the hands if you're staying there. Nice big inhale. Exhale to roll it back down. Let's do one more. And again, if you love this version, take those arms up. Big inhale. Exhale, we'll nod and curl up. Stay there for an inhale. And then exhale, roll ourselves back down. Awesome job, guys. All right, let's head into our mat work. First up is the 100. Remember, our 100 exercise is meant to be a warm-up exercise. It's called the 100 because we eventually get to 100 pumps of our arms. You get to decide where you're going to hold your body while we do these pumps. So you can leave your legs right here on the mat, pressing in, right? And you can either be head down or you can curl up into this upper ab curl. Other options would be to hold your legs at tabletop with either your head down or the upper ab curl, or you could take your legs up to the ceiling with your head down, and do your pumps, right? Or in the upright curl, or eventually you can start to take those legs away from you, and that will really challenge those core muscles. All right, let's get to it. You're gonna find your favorite spot. I'm gonna show it in all the places as we do our 10 breaths. The other rule is you can always adjust along the way. You can do part of it in one position, and then maybe you're like, oh, I need to bring my legs in a little closer. I need to adjust. That's always okay. Okay, we're gonna take a nice big inhale. If you're curling up, go ahead and curl up. Hold your body position, and then we'll pump our arms. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Full big breaths, just holding your position. Always fine. You could have those legs at tabletop. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. It's fine to leave your head down, and it's fine to take your head down in the middle of it if it feels like it needs a rest. You could have legs to the ceiling. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. We have one more breath. Take the legs wherever your favorite spot is. And exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And then give yourself a rest moment. Hug your legs in. Maybe you want to rock the legs a little side to side. Any of those things. All right, great job on your 100. Let's come up to seated. Let's grab our resistance band for some roll downs. We're going to use our band around our feet. You're going to put it around the toes, balls of the feet, and choke up a little bit on your band so you have some, I want to call it helpful resistance, right? Resistance that gives you some feedback and helps you out. Flex your feet and really dig your heels in. We're going to start with a nice bent leg. We're going to check in on our shoulders because mine always want to creep up here so by my ears. So we're going to pull our shoulder blades down and kind of lock them into place a little bit. And then we'll think of that pelvic tilt or tuck that we practiced before. And we're going to start curling back. And let's just start with halfway. Could we just go halfway on our inhale? And then as you exhale, let's let ourselves just curl forward. I'm going to stretch our back over our legs. Inhaling as you're curling back. We're doing a little tilt of our pelvis. We're rolling back. And then exhale, pulling our stomach in as we curl forward. Right now in that next one, if you're feeling ready for it, you can go all the way down. I kind of slid my hands a little bit further down my band when I did it. Rolling all the way back. And then you're going to curl back up. Inhale for half. Exhale, spine stretch over those legs. And if you're feeling up for that bonus challenge, you could straighten your legs as you roll down and as you curl back up. Inhale halfway. Exhale, stretch your spine up and over those legs. Inhale to start rolling down. Exhale, push through those heels and lengthen as you roll back. Let's get one more in there. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, stomach pulls in. Kind of want to feel those stretchy moments as you reach forward. And then we're going to roll down to our mat, one vertebra at a time, and make our way down. All right, we're going to head into our one leg circle exercise. We're going to leave that band on our foot. So I'm keeping my band on my right foot, and I'm going to anchor my elbows and my shoulders down to the mat. So what I would love first is that we all just find the place where your hips are anchored, but you kind of pull the leg up and it feels like a slight stretch in the back of your leg. That might be out here for you. It might be over your hip or further depending on your flexibility. Just find that for a moment. Find a gentle stretch. Really good for us just to be there. We're going to warm up a little bit. I want you to do just a little point your foot and then flex your foot. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. And point and flex. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. And one more. Point and flex. Awesome. All right, guys. Now you're going to point your foot. And then I want you to see if you can just turn out your leg a little bit. So that just, to me, that's like turn my knee outward a little. Turn my thigh outward. kind of activates those muscles a little differently. And we're going to start drawing just some little circles. We're going to go across our body just a little bit, and we're going to circle the leg around. Pause when you get back to your stretchy place, your start place. Inhale as you reach across. Exhale as you circle the leg around. Notice that you've got to push that left foot in to help you not wiggle in your hips as that leg circles around in space. Let's do 2 more. Go across. Now, if you feel like, oh, I can make them a little bit bigger and not wiggle, you get to go for it. Go a little bigger. Inhale across your body. Exhale to circle down and around. Let's go the other direction. Let's go to the outside of the body and then circle the leg down and around. Inhaling as you start. Exhaling as you're stirring that leg around in your hip. Inhale to start. Exhale, circle to come back around. And that reach to the outside and circling to come back. And we go 1 more there. Make sure you're breathing and then come back around. Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to switch and do that all on the other leg. So we'll put our left foot, toes, balls of the feet, into that band. That right leg, we're going to keep it bent and just plant our foot on the mat. And then you get to find a stretch in the back of your leg. Anchor your hip. And just be there for a moment. Just find a little bit of that stretch and lengthen through the back of the leg. And then we're going to inhale, point our foot. Exhale, flex our foot. Inhale, point. And exhale, flex. Let's do point and flex 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Hopefully that whole time, just getting a little bit of that stretch up the back of your leg. All right, and then we're going to point our foot. We're going to do a little external rotation, and we're going to start with our circle. So we're going to take the leg a little across our body, and then we're going to draw a circle down and around and back up. Maybe start about the size of a basketball when you're circling, and then of course if you're like, oh, I'm feeling pretty stable, I feel like I can do this pretty well, then take it a little bigger, right? Find that controlled circle. Inhale for part. Exhale for that second part of the circle, where you're able to circle the leg around in space while keeping your stomach pulled in, keeping your back pretty darn stable to the mat. Reach across, circle the leg down and around. Let's pause and we'll go the other way. We'll take the leg to the outside of the body, and then we'll circle the leg down and around. The whole time I'm keeping my elbows anchored, keeping my shoulders anchored, because that's going to help me kind of anchor my torso to the mat and not move there. Inhale to start. Exhaling as you circle the leg around. Let's get 1 more of those in. Inhale. And exhaling as you circle. Awesome job, guys. All right, let's set our band to the side. You can just hang on to a leg or rock up to sitting, however best works for you. We're going to head into our rolling like a ball exercise. We're going to make sure we have plenty of room behind us on your mat. So wherever you are, just check. Also, I always suggest having a nice cushy surface for this one. We are going to roll through our spine, and it will not feel good if you're on, let's say, like a hard surface. So make sure you have a good cushy surface. All right, feet together. Knees are apart about shoulder width. You can have your hands back behind your thighs to start with. The start of this is going to feel a lot like our roll down that we did in the beginning. We're going to tilt our pelvis, pull our belly muscles up and in, and roll back. So we just get this like rounded but stretched kind of feeling in our low back. And then we'll lift our feet up and find our balance. From there, we're going to rock back and forth. Inhaling, you're going to lift the legs just a little. Exhale to curl forward. All right, don't throw yourself back, but let yourself lift the legs and pull them back in to help you get as much of that curl through your back as you can. And then as you progress, if you're like, oh, I think I can make it a little more challenging, you could take your hands to the outsides of your shins and then maybe not lift your legs quite so much and feel how you have to work a little bit harder for that as you roll back and forth. Let's do 1 more. In on the way back. Exhale to come up, and then you can plant your feet. We're going to roll back to our mat for our stomach series. We're going to start today with our 1 leg stretch. So we're going to take our right leg, and we're going to hug it in toward our chest, And then I want you to just reach long through that left leg for a moment. Feel the work to pull your stomach in, to kind of pull on the leg, and at the same time, push your leg up into your hand. Which feel like a little work just to be there. And then I want you to switch and do that same thing on the other leg. You're going to grab the leg, push your shin up into the leg, and see if you can pull your stomach muscles down even more. And then we'll switch. Let's do a few of those. So we'll inhale for one, and exhale for the other one. And then we'll switch. Inhale, and exhale. Now, if the upper ab curl is feeling okay for you, next I want you to curl up and see if we can do that same thing up in the curl. Inhale for one leg, exhale for the other leg, and inhale. And if the curl doesn't feel good on your neck, if that's not working for you, you just lay your head down. Keep doing the version we started with your head on the mat. Let's do one more on each leg. Inhale, remember those stomach muscles pulling up and in, and exhale. And then go ahead and pull both legs in and take a little rest moment. All right, we have one more of our stomach series exercises. The next one is called double leg stretch. We're going to have our hands on our shins and we're pulling our legs in so much that you might feel a little stretch in your low back. You might feel your hips lift a little if you really pull your stomach in. I always think it feels like a nice, good stretch on my low back. All right, here's the action on this one. We're going to start with keeping our head down. As you inhale, the arms and legs are going to reach out. You're going to press your hands into your thighs. This should feel like a work movement here. And then exhale, you're going to hug the legs back in and maybe find that little stretch your low back movement. Inhale, the arms and legs reach out. Only take your legs as low as you can go and not arch or move your back. Exhale to come back in. So that's fine if that's a little higher even up here. Inhale out. Exhale back in. Now, if it's there for you to curl up in the upper curl, you're going to curl there and hold, and we'll do a few more. Inhale, arms and legs reach. Exhale to hug the legs back in. Inhale, the reach. There's that like super work moment. Exhale, pull in so much that you get a little stretch in your low back. Inhale, press arms and legs out. Exhale to come back in. We should do one more of those. Inhale, press it out. Exhale to come in, and then take a little rest moment. Roll the head and neck a little side to side. You get to roll up to seated. Go ahead and rock yourself up. Our next exercise is our spine stretch exercise. So first and foremost, when we get set up for this one, we want to figure out how we can sit up on our sitting bones nice and tall. If the backs of your legs are tight, that's going to feel really hard. You're going to feel like you're here. So grab something to sit on. I'm on a raised mat, so I can kind of show you. So if my hamstrings are tight and I was able to sit up on something, then I could drop my heels lower than my hips, and that would allow me to sit even taller. Something like some books underneath your butt will work really good for this. And if you don't need it, that's fine too. You can have your legs straight out in front of you. So we're going to pretend like there is a wall behind us that we're using to help us find our alignment, and even the back of our head's kind of on the wall. We're going to take a giant inhale, fill up with breath. As you exhale, we're going to curl ourselves forward, pulling our stomach muscles up and in so that our whole back goes into that C-curve stretch. And then we'll take a big, long inhale to stack up, pretending like that imaginary wall is back there that we're just stacking against. Exhales take us forward. When you get to what feels like the end of your exhale, you can do a second exhale and a third exhale where you're kind of forcing that breath out. You'll get a deeper stretch. Inhale, as you roll up, you're going to lift as tall as you can. Exhale, we curl right back down. Stomach muscles pulling up and in, reaching through those heels a little bit. Inhaling, just think of practicing your good posture as you come up. Exhale, we curl forward, scooping the abdominal muscles up and in as you round forward. Inhaling as you roll up. We're going to take one more. This is the one that I like to call your stretchy one. You're going to curl forward. Do that second, third exhale. Go ahead and just stay there. If you want to reach and grab your legs, and maybe it feels good to you to just give yourself a little pull forward. I often like kind of this, create some space back in my back stretch where I'm going to pull my stomach muscles up and in, drop my head forward, just feel a little bonus spine stretch. Play with what feels good for you. And then on that next breath, let's stack ourselves up. Nice big inhale. Rolling up and lifting tall. Awesome job. All right, let's turn over onto our stomachs. Let's get a little bit of our swan in. So on our swan exercise, we're facing the mat. We have our hands under our shoulders. And our first job is to find our length in our body. So you are going to do a little bit of that pelvic tuck. So it feels like your butt's working. Going to reach through your legs so much you kind of unweight your thighs and knees. Right? Just in theory, they don't have to overly lift off the mat. And then you're going to reach through the top of your head so much like your neck gets longer. And then check in with your shoulders. Could you pull them down away from your ears? That should be some work just to hold here. And then we're going to start lifting up. We're going to lift our head first. We're going to pull our shoulder blades together. Going to bend through our middle back, maybe a little low back, and then we're going to roll ourselves back down. This is that roll up we did at the beginning, but in reverse. We're just starting to curl through our spine in the other direction. Head, pull those shoulder blades together. Lift, lift, lift as you come up, and then roll back down with that same control. Add that breath in. It's really going to help you. Long, big inhale to come up. Remember that reach through your legs, that like two-way stretch from our body. Toes are going one way. Top of the head's going the other way as you come back down. Let's do one more. Inhaling as you're coming up. Lift your head. Pull those shoulder blades together. Reach through your legs. And then come back down. And then let yourself come on up. We're just going to take a little kneeling, called the cat stretch, where you're going to just push the mat away and round your back. And just hold that for a few breaths. Right. Let your head hang. We're just going for a nice little stretch in your low back on that one. And then releasing those hips. Awesome job. We're going to flip over onto our back next and do our shoulder bridge exercise. So when you get set up for this, you're going to bring your legs about hip width apart. And my favorite way to check that is it's about a fist. It's about a fist in between your feet. No, we can't always like reach down or reach our feet, but that's what you're thinking of. Your heels are pulled back towards your bottom, probably about as much as you can. Eventually we get them so those heels are right underneath your knees, but somewhere close to there. Arms are pressing into the mat so they're nice and strong. This is all about that rolling through the spine again. So we're going to do our pelvic tuck, our pelvic tilt that we practiced in the beginning. And then we're going to start lifting our hips up, slowly peeling ourselves off the mat. And then we're going to come down. I like to think that my hips were going to stay here as my upper back started to come down and mid back. Of course, they're not going to stay up there, but they're trying, and that action helps me curl my spine better. Middle back, low back, releasing your hips at the bottom. Inhale, we tilt the hips, lift up, push strongly through those legs and your arms. And then roll down. Remember, the hips are trying to stay up, which feels like you're staying in that tilt or tuck, and you gotta really use your butt the entire time. And rolling to come down. This is a great strengthener for those glute muscles. Inhaling as you're rolling yourself up. Don't forget about those arms pressing in. Exhale as you roll down. Try to feel your upper back sink in. Middle back, low back, releasing those hips at the bottom. Inhale, let's get two more in. Pelvic tuck, curling up, up, up. You might notice, like everyone, you might feel like you get a little higher up, a little more stretch in the top of the thighs. Curl back down, upper back, middle back, low back, releasing those hips at the bottom. All right, we got one last one. This is our bonus one. We are going to roll up, pelvic tuck, lift your hips, come up into your best bridge. Hold it for me. Stay strong through the backs of your legs. See if you can get the feeling of kind of shifting your shins forward ever so slightly. You'll just feel that bonus stretch in the tops of the thighs. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, roll down. Remember, we're keeping our hips up as long as we can so that we have to curl through every inch of our back as we roll ourselves back down. Great job, guys. All right, let's turn to the side. We're going to get a little of our side leg kicks in. I'm going to be laying, I'm starting here on my left side, and the first thing I want to do is line my body up so my shoulders and my hips and even my head are all in a nice straight line, and then my legs are going to swing out to the front. Now there's two positions I would say that you could start trying to see what works best for you. You could just reach this top arm out and lay on the bottom arm. That's a great position. Or if you prefer, you could prop up and put your head in your hand, still trying to have your head in line with your body so that it's not far forward. We're going to take the top hand and push it down into the mat, making sure when we push it in we don't run the shoulder forward, but we keep kind of rolling it back and pulling our shoulder blade into place. All right, we're going to start with some stability work here where we take our top leg at hip height. Our goal is, can we pull our stomach in and not do a lot of movement in our back as we kick our leg front to back. So I'm going to swing the leg forward. I'm going to do a little kick, kick, and then I'm going to reach the leg behind me and do a little kick, kick. You're going to feel how your body wants to move all over the place. And so that's kind of the work of this exercise. Can we pull our stomach up and in, anchor our body? Can we use that bottom leg as that leg, top leg swings front to back to kind of anchor down to the mat? Let's get 2 more in. Flex, kick, and point, reach. One more time. Inhale, flex, kick. Exhale, point, reach. Now we're going to take that top leg right over the bottom leg, and I want you to practice a little internal rotation, thigh knee to the floor, external rotation. I often like to take my hand on my hip just to make sure I'm holding my hip still. This is really just that thigh kind of spinning in your hip socket. Feels like a lot of work. Internal rotation, external rotation. Let's do that one more time. Internal rotation. And now I'm going to leave you in that external rotation, trying to aim your knee up to the ceiling. I want you to point your foot as you lift your leg. Flex your foot as you come back down. Inhale as you lift the leg up. Exhale as you come back down. Your goals on these are keep those hips stacked. I'll tell you right now, the thing we want to do to lift your leg higher is slide your hip back. Don't let that happen. And then come back down, which might mean you don't go as high. That's okay. Point up and flex it back down. Let's do one more. Point up, flex to come down. Let's go ahead and reverse our foot action. Same exact exercise. Flex up, point down. Inhale as you're lifting up. Exhaling as you're coming back down. Remember, our upper body is pretty much staying the same as that leg lifts and lowers. Always we want to think about our stomach muscles pulling up and in. We got one more there. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, reach it to come back down. Awesome. All right, we are going to switch and just do that all on the other side. So you're just going to get set up. You're going to line yourself up. If you're on a mat, I just think it's always nice. It guides you, right? You know what a straight line is with your body. So your shoulders and your shoulders, hips, and head are in a straight line. And then those legs can swing out to the front, and we're going to really get that bottom leg anchored. Remember, you can lay down on the arm, or you can prop. I'm going to prop for today. And then have the other hand on top. We're going to start with our sweeps forward and back. Top leg is at hip height. We're trying to keep those hips and upper body stable. We're going to come forward, flex, kick, and then we're going to go behind, point, reach. Inhaling as you sweep forward, reaching through that heel. Exhale as you point and reach through the back of the leg. Inhale, flex, kick. Exhale, point, reach. We're going to do 2 more there. Don't forget about checking in with that bottom leg and really pressing it down to the mat to help you stay stable and still in that upper body. And point, reach. All right, let's bring the leg over the bottom leg about hip height. We're going to internally rotate the leg so knee points to the floor. Externally rotate up toward the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. Our hip is holding still on those. And rotate up. Let's get 2 more. Inhale and exhale. You can have your hand in front as well. And then we're going to leave the leg externally rotated for our bot mount. We point our foot as the leg lifts. Flex our foot as you come back down. Remember, our goal is to keep our hips stacked. So it's fine to keep them smaller as you lift and lower. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you come back down. Point and keep that leg nice and long that whole time. Remember, that bottom leg is still kind of pushing into the mat a little bit. It will help you out. Let's do the reverse foot action. Flex your foot to come up, point to come back down. Flex your foot, lift up, point and reach as you come back down. Inhale for the lift up. Exhale to come back down. Let's get 2 more in. Flex up, point to come back down. We got one more. Lift it up, lower it back down. Awesome job. All right, guys, let's come up to standing, and we're just going to do a little standing roll down to end our workout today. So I want you to have your feet and knees about hip width apart. Let your knees be a little soft, or even bend them as we do this roll down. So we're just going to ragdoll our arms. We're going to start curling forward. We'll inhale for about half of this, and I really want this just to feel like that, just nice rolling through your spine. Bend those knees if you need. Exhale for that second half as you continue to roll down. And we're going to let ourselves just hang for a moment. Let gravity kind of pull your spine forward. Maybe you dangle your arms and your head a little bit and let everything shake out. All right, take some breath. When you're ready to come back up, start with pushing your feet down into the mat. Kind of pull your belly up and in to initiate that coming up. Feel your hips kind of upright. And just think about stacking yourself up one vertebra at a time until you're nice and tall. Take one last nice big arm circle. Lift your arms up to the ceiling. Take a big inhale. And then exhale as you circle your arms all the way back around. Awesome job. Thank you so much for joining me today for your basic mat workout.